Hello, my name is Sam Feltham and welcome to Expert Interviews here on Smash the Fat. Sorry we've been away for the past couple of weeks. Lots of things have been going on, and unfortunately next week I'm not going to be around either because I'm going to be in Greece having a nice holiday, trying to soak up as much vitamin D as I can because things are still pretty cold and cloudy here in London. But to brighten up my day, we have Michelle and Keith Norris all the way from the States. So how are you going, guys?
Doing well. Thank you for having us on. And
fantastic, Sam.
we have a lot of vitamin D. You're welcome to come on over here.
yeah, I'd absolutely love to come on over because you guys are based in Texas.
Yes, Austin.
Right? Yeah, right in Austin. And in Austin, in about a month's time, you're going to be holding, is it the third Paleo FX? The fourth Paleo FX conference, which is kind of like the mecca for all things paleo. And that's what we're going to be chatting about today, the paleo movement at large and kind of how Paleo FX fits into that movement. So before we kind of get into all of that, can you both give us a bit of a background on yourselves and how you got into this crazy world of health and fitness?
I'm going to let him start because he got us into this mess to begin with.
Wow, so just a real quick Reader's Digest version. I have been a lifelong athlete, either actually competitive or just a person who worked in a 9-to-5 job, which turned into a 9-to-9 type job that anybody who's in the corporate realm knows that well. And was trying to stay fit at the same time. I did not want to give up staying fit if I had to do the other stuff to earn money. Long story short, I was doing some coaching on the side, and a coach that I was talking to wanted a little background of how to better feed his athletes, and that sent me on a path of discovery. And again, just to make a long story short, I ran into a couple crazy guys called Rob Wolf and Art Devaney, and we started an internet discussion, and one thing led to another. Next thing you know, a few years later, here we are in Austin, Texas, and we're in the fourth run of Paleo FX.
Smashing it out. And what about yourself, Michelle?
Well, Keith decided to try the paleo thing out after he got in touch with Art and Rob and had learned a little bit about the paleo diet. And so he was paleo for probably about a year. And I am a trained chef, and my specialty was Italian, so I did a lot of pasta, pizza dough, that type of thing. I've made all of my own. And so for probably about a year, I was constantly having problems. Every time that I ate, I had really bad stomach pains. And Keith would say, I really think that you might have celiac. You should probably check that out. But he's not one to beat you over the head with anything. So he just, would kind of slightly prompt. And but he would make his own dinners. If I made anything that wasn't paleo, he would make his own dinner, and he would not eat what we were eating. And so we had teenagers in the house at the time, so you can imagine that, paleo didn't go over so well with our teenagers. And so I think it had been probably about a year he had been into paleo, and I was again making, I remember it was some kind of celebration, one of the kids' birthdays or something, and I'm making pizza, pasta, all of that was all of their favorites. And so I'm making all of it, and there he is making his dinner. And I looked at him and I said, "You're really never going to have my pizza and pasta again, are you?" And he said, "No." And he said, "I really think that you have celiac and you should get that checked out." So I did. I tested negative for the antibodies, but as I'm sitting there with the doctor and he's explaining to me, "Well, I think that what we'll do next is we'll do a colonoscopy on you."
Right.
And he's falling asleep while he's talking to me. And I'm thinking, okay, the next thing is to cut into me. Why don't I just take stuff out of my diet and let's see how that works? So I went home. I talked to Keith about it. We decided that I'd just remove everything from my diet and I'd go paleo. 3 weeks into paleo, everything that I had been diagnosed with was gone. So IBS, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, you name it, gone. I had been diagnosed with an early onset rheumatoid arthritis. My entire family had been diagnosed with that, and I honestly believe that was a false diagnosis. It was just chronic inflammation from gluten. So anyway, it kind of haven't looked back after that.
We often say that Michelle came into the movement kicking and screaming, and she literally did.
Really did not.
She did not want to give up all of that stuff, and it was fantastic. Let me tell you, she is a fabulous chef, and what she made was exquisite. So if anybody can make
that,
yeah,
absolutely, because it's quite interesting. Me and my fiance have kind of had a bit of a similar experience in that she's French and she comes from the region Brittany, which is where crepes come from. So, you know, French crepes, it's you know, wheat as much as it comes. And as you say, Keith, these foods, they taste absolutely fantastic. But when you do remove these foods for about 4 weeks, then you just start to feel a heck of a lot better. You might have them once in a while. When I go over to France, I can't resist a crepe from my soon-to-be mother-in-law, but I certainly don't have it in my daily diet, and you just feel so much better. And that's often an experience that people have with a paleo movement or a low-carb type experience, is that you start off with a diet, and that often kind of clears a lot of things up. But paleo isn't just about the diet. That can kind of be the catalyst. But what else is paleo about for you guys?
It's become our entire life. I mean, it's consumed everything. What's interesting, so Keith, like he said, I came into this kicking and screaming, but I was in complete denial, figured that I was going to at some point put all the foods back into my diet again, just was sure I was going to put them all back into my diet at some point, was angry that I had to give them up to be healthy. And so what was interesting is a few weeks later, we went to our son's game, and all of the parents had not seen me in quite some time. And, you know, women keep like several sizes of clothes in their closet because we yo-yo. I mean, that's just how we are. I've not yo-yoed since I've been paleo, but when you are on a regular diet, you yo-yo, you go back and forth. And so I hadn't really noticed, hadn't really paid a lot of attention because I had done it all the time, gone back up and down and I had just gone back down into lower sizes of clothes. And so Keith, of course, saw me all the time, probably didn't really notice it either. But when we went to the game, all the parents were like, "Oh my God, you look amazing. You've lost so much weight. You look so vibrant and healthy. What have you done?" Well, I hadn't done anything. Of course, he told them all, "Oh, she has an amazing trainer."
That's right. Here's my card.
Yeah. Yes. So that's when the light bulb went off for me, and that's when I realized, oh, okay, wait, this could actually help people, because I was food writing for another company, and that's when I broke away and I got my own blog and I started my own stuff, and that's when I became an evangelist at that point. And so for us, it's really about helping other people find their health and spreading the message as much as we can and trying to touch as many people as we can.
And we look at, to answer your question, Sam, we look at paleo as being the #1 biohack into what makes a human being a fully functional human being. Mm-hmm. And that involves diet, yes, but it also involves smart strength and conditioning. Mm-hmm. It involves things like getting adequate sunlight, and not sitting in a desk all day. And if you do have to sit at a desk, what can you do to compensate for that? It even gets into the mental side of things, the willpower aspects, everything you can think of that goes into making a human being a fully functional, happy human being. That is what paleo is about, and that's what we explore at Paleo FX.
I would say, one better that is fully optimized.
Fully optimized, sure.
Human being. So that is what it's about for us.
So when you go to Paleo FX, you'll see talks and panels on a whole spectrum of things. And really, diet is just one small aspect of it.
Right.
It's step one, and it's an important step, but there are many other steps that you can take to even better optimize yourself.
Exactly.
That's right. It's all about overall health, and kind of this is summed up on your about page on the Paleo FX website, I think, with your last sentence on the about page. It says their desire, there being you guys, is that you learn how your Stone Age genetics can be unleashed and coaxed to thrive without having to sacrifice the benefits of modernity in today's fast-paced and hectic world. Because I saw your recent appearance on Good Morning San Diego, Michelle, and you were talking about the fact that, you know, it's not about trying to reenact being a caveman at any extent. It's about trying to hack into those Stone Age genetics, but not sacrifice modern day life.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to sacrifice technology. I mean, the fact that we're able to do what we're doing right now,
oh, I know,
Skyping across the Atlantic, is amazing. So it's not about going back to the cave and spear. It's about optimization, and it's about the realization that our minds and bodies are tuned to a world that we haven't seen in 50,000 years. They're perfectly attuned. There's just an environmental mismatch that they now sit in. Now, what are we going to do about that? And that's what we answer at Paleo FX. What are we going to do about it in a practical sense? That's exactly what we explore.
Exactly. And it's funny, when you were talking about when I was on Good Morning San Diego, they actually asked me after the segment, are you allowed to use blenders? And I was like, yes, I have 4. I've got a Blendtec, and I've got a Vitamix, and yeah, and I was like, of course we were allowed to use blenders. It was hilarious. I was cracking up.
That's incredible.
I know.
It's probably one of the most important tools in kind of, a paleo chef.
But there are these misconceptions about what paleo is, and so we try to be very, very patient and joke about questions like that when we answer, but I mean, that is the kind of misperception.
A lot of people think that it's we're raw food, and that we don't cook, and really actually cooking and animal products are what made our brains bigger. And so no, I'm all about cooking. I'm chef, so it's just funny. I think that we definitely one of our other things that we say is that we leverage modern technology to enhance our current lives. So that's exactly what we do. So.
Blood work, for example. I mean, we're all about getting periodic blood work and seeing, where you are hormonally and everywhere else. So that's one small piece of modern technology that can be leveraged. Yeah,
and we are about being integrative, not about this or that. It's not about getting rid of your doctor. We definitely think that you need to be working in conjunction with your doctor, but you need to be as knowledgeable about your own health as your doctor. Actually, you need to be more knowledgeable, because nobody's going to be your own advocate better than you. Your doctor simply doesn't have the time to get to know your health as well as you do. So that's just really what we're about, is trying to educate people that not only do you have the right, but you have the responsibility of taking your own health into your own hands.
That's right, and Paleo FX is kind of part of that, it seems. So how exactly did Paleo FX come about? Did you just wake up one morning and go, right, we're going to put on the biggest paleo conference ever?
No, no, we did not. It was funny. I know you're familiar with the Ancestral Health Symposium, our sister symposium, and so the very first symposium Keith spoke at, and we were out in at UCLA in Los Angeles, and we were sitting on the runway at LAX, and we're talking, and we were kind of jazzed up. It was exciting. And it was, it's a decidedly academic conference. And, we kind of geek out on all the nerdy science and all of that, and that's great. But at the end of the day, when we come home and we deal with everyday clients, the clients don't care about the science. They care about, what do I eat? what do I do in the gym? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing to maximize and optimize my health? That's what they care about. They don't care about the science. Great that the science works and everything, but that's for us. That's for the people that really care about that stuff. And so for us, we saw a need, and we decided we had no intention right off the bat to go out and create the world's largest paleo event. What we had decided was we were going to do a nice little event at Efficient Exercise and put on some cooking demonstrations, some movement sessions, have a few talks, that kind of thing. And it was going to be a small little intimate gathering. And we had at the time a business partner who came in and who said, no, you should not wait, because we had kind of thought a few years down the road we'll grow it bigger. No, you should do that now. You should not wait. And so in 3 months, literally in 3 months, we put it together, and it was really large the first year, and it's doubled in size every year, and this year it's tripled in size. So we're pretty excited about how big it's grown.
We joke a lot and say that, if you would have told us 5 years ago that we would be doing what we're doing right now with Paleo FX, we would have said you are crazy. Yeah. We have no experience to put on something like that. None.
Well, you don't. Yeah. I've done big, large events, but I would have never thought I would have been doing this. I would have not. I mean, I've done large golfing events and that type of thing, but I would have never thought that we would have done this. But anyway.
We're glad we did, though.
Yes, we are. We're happy we did.
Most definitely, because it's an incredible story what you guys have done. I mean, an incredible achievement as well. And I also had the pleasure of meeting you last year when you were over here in London, scoping out the landscape over here. And I don't know if there's any news on that at all.
Well, that is definitely in the plans. We are trying to get our roots deep here and get our team solid, and then once our team is really solid here, we definitely plan on hopping the pond. So that is something that we plan on doing. We did realize we have some logistical issues we've got to conquer coming over there. Mm-hmm. So we thought we'd be over there a lot faster. I think it's going to take us a little bit of doing, but we definitely plan on doing it.
It's a more complicated business model than it might seem on the outside looking in, but there are a gazillion moving pieces to this thing, and to try to make it work locally has been one thing, but to try to make it work, at a distance is going to be another hurdle. And we do want to do it, and I would say we will do it. When is the question? Mm-hmm. And by the way, we love London, so
yes,
any excuse to get back, any excuse to get back, we'll take it.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, we can't wait to have you over here when you do eventually make it, and I'm always here to help you guys do whatever you need to do, to make it happen. So,
and that's one thing
you've always got me at your call.
And that's one thing we found when we went to London to do the exploratory work was. One reason we went there is you have to go to a place and get boots on the ground and find out what the enthusiasm is firsthand. Mm-hmm. And we found a ton of enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. I mean, your area is just ready and rife to have a movement like Paleo FX be centered in it, like it is in Austin. It was fantastic. We were blown over.
Right.
When we went there.
We were even laughing that we were on the tubes, and somebody tweeted us a little bit later after they had gotten off the train and said, I wanted to meet y'all, but it was the funniest thing, and we were like, I knew who you were, but I wanted to meet you, and that kind of thing. So it was kind of interesting to have somebody know who we were over there, and so you guys' movement is definitely growing, and so we definitely want to help that along, and we think that definitely will happen.
Yeah, it will be a blast. It will be a great event when we do have it.
Yes, it will.
Absolutely. Well, we can't wait for it. And the main Paleo FX event in Austin is next month from Friday the 24th of April until Sunday the 26th of April. And kind of what are you most excited about in this year's event?
We're excited about different things.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, personally, I am excited about, we have several different panels that are coming up this year that are really, in my opinion, that are going to be some really exciting panels. And we have live streaming, of course, again, but we have the keynote stage. To me, that's probably one of the most exciting things about this year, is that we've never had a keynote stage before, and we've got an award show that's going to happen on that stage, and just really think there's a lot of really cool things that are going to happen with that. So that's what I'm excited about.
And I am most excited because I am a strength and conditioning guy from the get-go. I am so excited that we have teamed with Real Fit Test Score, and we'll have the Paleo FX Real Fit Test Score. Excuse me. And what that's going to involve, I don't know, I'm not real familiar with how soccer or football.
Yeah, it's called football.
So in American football, there is what's called a combine that takes place before players are brought into the big leagues, and that is a simple assessment of what kind of an athlete this person is. It doesn't really test football skills so much, but it tests what kind of an athlete this person is. We've designed the same type of testing for the average guy. So the average guy can go through these tests, and they're very, very simple tests to perform. They're very, very difficult tests, like a broad jump, like a 40-yard dash, like a shuttle run, things like this, so that the separation between good and great is easy to identify and it's easy to quantify. And we're also scoring this so that at the end of the day, you can see your score versus others in your age group, or you can compare your score to a professional athlete, which is rather humbling, I might say. It's just a very, very, very cool thing that we're rolling out, and that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very excited about that.
That sounds fantastic, because in our classes over here at Smash the Fat, we do fitness assessments kind of every 4 weeks, and they're kind of similar things in that, and you can kind of, you just see your progress as you go along, as well as kind of measuring your regular weight and hips and waist measurements and blood markers and things like that. It's great to see your fitness getting a lot better and your athleticism as well, which is kind of what I think you're talking about there, Keith, with things like broad jumps, vertical jumps, and all sorts. And then is there any kind of speed and agility stuff in there?
Yes, so there's a 40-yard dash, which is kind of the American short sprint gold standard. And there's also a shuttle run that's a very, very short shuttle run, back and forth, over, I think it's 20 yards by the time you're all said and done, but it's change of direction. There's a strength component, and for that strength component, we'll be using proprietary equipment that we happen to be a part of this company. But it's a very safe, absolute strength measurement. So we've taken away the squat and the bench press and substituted a much safer movement and a better assessment for strength, in our opinion. And so that will be involved. The endurance part of it will be a 2-kilometer row.
Brilliant.
On a CT rower. So
what's your best time, Keith? What's your best time on the row? Oh,
it's going to be horrible. I can tell you. I'll do great in the 40, and I will sink in the endurance part of it. But this is right. But you want to know that. You want to know what the full spectrum athlete looks like. And of course, some people are going to do fantastic in the endurance and suffer in the strength. Other people are going to do great in the strength and the sprint stuff and suffer in the endurance part of it. And that's part of the fun, not the suffering, but the quantification of that.
Keith is all fast twitch.
I'm all fast twitch.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's fantastic. That's going to be really exciting. And are there going to be any kind of prizes or anything like that for top contenders? Or
yes, yet unrevealed, but yes.
Amazing. That sounds like it's going to be so much fun. And kind of with that, what else is going to be going on? Because you have kind of the keynote, you got the Real Fit testing, and then is there cooking demonstrations this year as well?
Well, we have, as always, 5 simultaneous running stages. We have the 2 S&C pits, which will have the Real Fit, the PaleoFX Real Fit score. We have an outdoor area, S&C area, and then we also have a classroom workshop, which is also new this year. We've not had that before. We have CEU credits that are being offered also through Czech Institute and ESA, I believe. Is that correct?
ISSA.
ISSA. And we have...
There's an obstacle course that is going to be built by one of the preeminent obstacle course builders in the world. I mean, this guy happens to be in Austin, and so he'll come out and build a short track for us. So that'll be ongoing as well.
That's going to be so much fun. Yeah, and also people can buy tickets obviously on the website paleofx.com, and with the live streaming as well, can people buy that from the website? Or
we're going to have the information for the live streaming out on April the 1st.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're not releasing that information until April 1st.
Cool. So a week today, make sure that you go across to paleofx.com if you're not able to make it to Austin, because I wish I could make it to Austin. Yeah, make sure you head across to the PaleoFX website, and then just make sure that you register for the live stream, because it sounds like it's going to be an absolutely fantastic event. Now we do have one listener question from you, and you kind of answered his first question, which was what new part of the event are you both most excited about, but his second question, which I didn't tell you about before we started the interview, his second question is, when is Sam Feltham going to be a speaker at PaleoFX?
Sam needs to answer that question.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be next year, because I'm not going to be able to make it next month, unfortunately. But next year, I would love to come out and just
love to have you.
That'd be fantastic. That'd be brilliant. I can jump in business class with Darryl Edwards. He seems to be in business class like all the time. All I see on Facebook is him in business class going to Australia, South Africa.
Yeah, you need to come over and keep Darryl in line. That's a challenge.
That's a challenge.
That's a challenge.
I'll try my best. I'll try my best. Fantastic, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time today. People can check out all things PaleoFX, obviously, at your website, paleofx.com. I highly recommend people going across to your YouTube channel as well, to which I'm subscribed, and always watch the 3 to 5 minute videos of clips from the previous PaleoFXs, which is just youtube.com/PaleoFX. And was there anywhere else that you wanted to point people at all?
Well, of course, we have our all of our PaleoFX social media is at PaleoFX. My social media is at Eclectic Kitchen at Twitter and everything.
I'm at the very unique Twitter handle of @Keith_Norris.
Nice and simple. That's what it's about, guys. There's only one more thing to do, and that's to hear a smash it out from both Michelle and Keith Norris. So on the count of 3, I want you to shout "smash it out" to the camera. So 1, 2, 3.
Smash it out!
Awesome! That's what I'm talking about. Well, again, thank you so much for your time today, guys. Everybody watching and listening, make sure you go across to paleofx.com. And if you're not able to make it to Austin, go on April the 1st and you can register for the live streaming. Thanks again, guys. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Ideal. Speak soon, guys.